I think from the turn of the 19th century, the 20th century, psychology has been primarily a European American social science. And the problem has been that it's used European American cultural standards to define normality and abnormality, with underscoring abnormality more than defining normality and optimal development. In the 1960s, 1970s, psychology began to broaden to include populations of color, and they branched out from the American Psychological Association and started their own psychological associations to study their own behavior in a way in which they could be seen in a positive light. So the Association of Black Psychology is one group, and the Asian American Psychology Association is another group. So I think psychology in the 21st century has to broaden to include the globe, and so it has to I think try to understand human behavior from the perspective of a world culture, and it has to, I think, really be able to offer the broader society a critique on its strengths and its limitations. So one of the primary forces in American culture right now happens to be capitalism. And I think the role of psychology, a role for psychology, is to begin to critique the psychology of these microsystems of culture. So what is it that is good about capitalism? What is it that is bad about capitalism? How is capitalism harmful to the common good of Americans, the West, the Western region, and the world? These are mature students. The most inspiring students are students that are very bright and that operate independent on their own. They're highly motivated to do their own research and their own scholarship, and so you don't have to police them. And what's really nice is when you have a student enrolled in a course and the student actually comes up with a new idea or a new slant on standard material, because it gets pretty repetitive after a while reading papers, and students, you're just certifying the students know basic information, but when somebody puts it together in a creative or unique way or brings their personal experience into completing the assignments, it makes it interesting. And certainly when I can learn something, it's more exciting. So when you have students like that, it makes it pretty exciting. And students, when you have students from other countries, like I have one student, he did a master's project and she was looking at moral development in children in Hong Kong. And so she wanted to develop a curriculum for the public school system there. So anything that involves sort of international study, international students, the study or consideration of culture at the center of research interests me, a great deal in terms of working with students.